All right, good morning. This is one of the last videos that I'll be giving you. I appreciate several of you have made positive comments about the video, so I'm glad that they have been helpful. Apparently, news to me, not every professor does that, so I don't really understand that, but all right, we're glad to have you and glad that they've been helpful. Today, we're going to talk about a red paperclip, and we're going to watch a little TEDx video from a guy named Kyle. Kyle's a pretty ordinary dude who was sitting in his office one day and he pulled out a paperclip and he's like, man, what can I get for this red paperclip? And so he goes on Craigslist, he starts trading it, and he ends up with a house through a series. It's a fun video to watch that transition happen. It reminds me of a story that Robert Fulghum tells about chess players, and some of you probably play chess or at least tried recreationally, and some maybe gave up. And chess used to be a sort of a big deal in the U.S. During the Cold War, 60s and 70s, between the Russians and the Americans. One of the things that we could do when we couldn't do anything else was play chess, and they would actually televise these chess matches, if you can even imagine that. There was purportedly an American player named Frank Marshall who's playing a Russian, and he picks up a chess piece. It's the queen. It's the most powerful piece on the board. He sets it down on the board, and he wavers for a minute, and there's actually a live audience watching this, and they gasp because where he's got his queen, they can see it's about to be taken by several different pieces. And Marshall does the unthinkable, and he pulled his finger away, which means that the move is over. And the Russian looks very excited. So he goes to take that queen with the first piece he sees. Face gets all fuzzy, puts it back, grabs a bishop, say, and moves it to take it. Moves a knight over to take it, and just keeps putting the pieces back in their original position. And after a couple of minutes, he takes the king, his own king, and he knocks it over, which is a sign that he has conceded the match. Crowd couldn't believe it, but what the Russian had deciphered was that no matter how he took that queen, which seemed such an obvious move, he would be defeated within 4 moves, and so he conceded. My argument using this story is not that Frank Marshall was a genius because he saw the move and boldly took it. That's genius because from the first time you ever pick up a chessboard, we are coached to never, ever sacrifice the queen. You protect the queen and the king at all costs. King is the piece that you are pledged to guard, and the queen is the primary means of offense and defense. And to lose the queen, you have almost certainly lost the match. And so we are looking at this story where Frank Marshall, an American chess player, says, let's see if I sacrifice the queen, what happens? Therein lies the genius. Whatever brought that idea to his head? He'd been taught never, ever sacrifice the queen. And yet he thought about that, found a bold move, and won a televised match. That's a red paperclip. What I see a lot with young people when we go through this interview segment is they use a lot of what I call glittering generalities. I work hard. It's a worthless statement. Sounds good, but everyone else has said, I'm working hard. What does it mean when you say, I work hard. Give us a tangible story if you're going to say that. I'd find a different way to say it. I work well with people, glittering generality. Show us what that means. And really, the red paperclip is, what is that thing that I do better than anybody else? I'm not a professor that never makes a mistake. It's not that I haven't misgraded things. And it's not that I'm always 100% timely. There are professors who do all of those things better than I do. But I may care more about my students and their personal lives. That may be my red paperclip. Doesn't really matter where I am putting that to work. I think people are going to notice that. Now, some of you have been trained to never think about this, that humility says you never think about or certainly never say any of your positive traits. Yeah, well, if you're going to do well in an interview situation, you're going to have to. You're going to have to sell yourself and your skills. I think a really, really difficult and yet important part of this is to deeply consider, what is my red paperclip? What is that thing that I do better than most everybody or everybody else? What is the thing that really makes me me? Now, your job for today is to put that down at the bottom. I know it's a hard assignment, but it requires some reflection. Have a good one.